Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super glad you did. And if you are returning, you all are real MVP, you already know. Today we're going to do a quick, fun little video here on something that is actually an odd, hot button topic in the tarot community, which is shuffling. So clearly it is a very important skill to have, to know how to shuffle your deck, as well as how your deck wants to be shuffled. But there is always going to be speculation on what is the correct, right, proper way to shuffle your tarot deck. So if you guys want to stick around, if you are beginners, you want to see different ways to shuffle your deck, I definitely recommend checking this out. I do want to say first and foremost, if you guys are brand new beginners to tarot, I highly recommend spending lots of time with your cards, whether that be playing cards or your actual tarot cards. The absolute best service you can do for yourself is learning how to shuffle. So that means learning how to shuffle for you, what works best for you, okay? So clearly there are lots of different ways to actually shuffle a deck, whether that be playing cards or tarot cards, but I don't know why it's such a hot button topic in the tarot community, what the actual correct way to shuffle your cards is. There's lots of speculation about disrespect as well as appropriation towards shuffling cards. And I think that this is something that you need to run by your cards. To be completely honest, if you are very in touch with your intuition, you should be able to have that conversation with your cards. I know quite a few of my decks have told me different ways that they want to be shuffled. They definitely will let you know when they feel like they need more shuffling or less shuffling or just a little bit of mixing up, and usually you should be able to tell how your cards like to be shuffled. I do own little over 20 decks myself, and definitely all of them have different ways they want to be shuffled, but let's go ahead and look at the different ways you can shuffle. So this here is a very simple bridge shuffle, and as you guys can see, we are using the Golden Thread Tarot here. This is my easiest deck to shuffle by far. They are plastic playing card type cardstock. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. So you can always shuffle these outward like that. A lot of people that like to bridge shuffle will also shuffle onto the table directly. And a lot of people that will do that playing card type shuffle don't like to bridge shuffle with their paper cards. So you can do that and then just kind of mix them. I know a lot of people feel very strongly about bending their cards, about doing that bridge shuffle, thinking that it's going to mess them up. And keep in mind, you always have to understand your card stock. So if you have something extremely thin, like the Game of Thrones tarot, the Light Seers tarot, anything thin or matte, it's definitely going to run the risk of getting those edges frayed a lot sooner when doing something like this casino bridge type shuffle. But if you have something that's super glossy or super thick cardstock like the Modern Witch, it's definitely not an issue. But you need to keep in mind that all cards are different sizes. So smaller pocket decks like the Radiant Rider weight or Centennial weight or any of the weights that are in a tin, or things like the Vanessa Tarot, the Biddy Tarot, those are all smaller pocket decks. Those are going to be a lot easier for you to shuffle if you have smaller hands. If you are like me, and I definitely cannot shuffle the Modern Witch or the full-size Light Seers Tarot as one deck. I have to break it up into two decks to be able to efficiently shuffle it. So you can always do what is called an overhand shuffle. We're not doing a reading. So an overhand shuffle, as you can see, is going to get you lots of flippers. This is what you usually see in your tarot reading videos for the most part. Everyone knows how to do an overhand shuffle, or should know how to do an overhand shuffle. And again, if you are a beginner to reading cards, I highly recommend learning to do your overhand shuffle, because like I said, that is going to get you tons and tons of flippers and jumpers, especially with a really willing deck, right? So there we go. We can do one without jumpers here. Very simple. You can go as fast as you need to, as slow as you need to. You guys will also notice that tarot readers across the board will do different speeds of shuffling, or like what I like to call chunk shuffling. Some of them will do just little chunks like that, and it works for them. And what I want to say about chunk shuffling, or even overhand shuffling with tons of mixing, you need to understand that your cards will adapt to you, okay? This is a divination tool, so your cards will adapt to you. You guys have to understand that there is no right way to shuffle, because your cards will adapt to you. Although you should also adapt to them. Like I said, you should have that type of bond with your cards that you can tell what they like and how they prefer to be shuffled, but your cards will adapt to you. So if you're the type of person that likes to draw cards, your cards will adapt to that and cater the message to the cards that are being drawn. But if your cards realize that you are the type of person that likes to do shuffling and take lots of jumpers for your message, they will also cater to that and give you lots of jumpers. So the reason why I made this video is because I believe there is no right, correct, proper way to shuffle your cards. You guys, I don't think there is. I think that no matter what you do in this life, people are always going to find a way to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. They're going to find a way to tell you that it's disrespectful, or that it's appropriation, or that something is just flat wrong, okay? When it comes to something like divination tools, I think your best bet is to do what works for you. Do what makes you comfortable. Do what your tools feel comfortable with, and definitely just practice, guys. Especially with tarot and oracle cards, the best thing you can do for yourself in your cards is to create a strong bond, and a great way to do that is to do lots and lots of shuffling together. So while you're sitting there watching TV doing absolutely nothing, having a conversation with your friends, just pull out the good old trusty deck, sit there and start shuffling. And it might look kind of weird to begin with, and especially as a beginner tarot reader, you might feel a little bit awkward, but eventually your friends and family will adapt, right? If that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. And I spend tons and tons and tons of time shuffling my cards, because it's easier to me to connect with my cards through shuffling versus sleeping with them, carrying them around with me, what have you. I don't want to sleep on my cards. It's very awkward to do. I don't like carrying them around with me in case they get any other energy, or in case I accidentally spill something in my bag. Like, you never know what happens. So I just want to get that make that very clear to beginners, you guys. Please don't worry about the correct, right, proper way to shuffle your cards, okay? Do what works for you, do what feels right, do what's comfortable, do what your cards want you to do. Like I said, my cards all have different ways of wanting to be shuffled, so they should tell you that, but intuition is definitely the first step to learning tarot. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, please give me a big thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, that's cool, thumbs down. You don't have to like my video. Say whatever you want in the comments, because y'all do anyway. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day wherever you are when this video reaches you, my friends. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Namaste.